Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my review for AEW Dynamite Episode 8, which aired on November 26, 2019. I'm just going to get right into the review. Um, we started out with an exclusive. Actually, no, before that, it showed a road to the arena that they were at with Chicago, since this was the first time they were returning to Chicago on AEW Dynamite since All Out, but this was also where, AEW pretty much started because of All In. And it basically just kind of shows like what Cody's been doing since he was attacked by MJF and Wardlow. Pretty much, he kind of like talked about, he didn't really give much of an answer about how he feels about after everything that's happened. He didn't really want to talk about it. And he talks about how he's heartbroken that MJF turned his back on him because even though he was a heel, he was his heel. And he talks about how he gave MJF a chance when nobody else would because everyone had thought he was too controversial. And he also talked about kind of like what it's like to be back in the Sears Center, because that's where it was for Chicago. So it was good stuff. I really enjoyed it. Then we actually get to the actual stuff on the show. We had an AEW exclusive before the show aired, and they officially launch a little bit of the bubbly as a wine product. They did it like right before the holidays. It shows Chris Jericho hyping it up. He talks about how it's better than any old wine or beer. He talks about how it's great for the holidays and stuff like that. He's just really putting it over. It was actually fantastic. And he said there's only a limited supply, so I'm assuming they went quick. And it made sense for them to do it on this show, since this is where that catchphrase started, was in Chicago. Then we had the actual show itself. We had the commentary team of Jim Ross and Excalibur. And we had Chris Jericho's thank you celebration. This was awesome. Soul Train introduces him, and he introduces Le Champion, Chris Jericho. He also says, I don't know how much a goat weighs or something like that, but no, I don't know what a goat looks like because I ain't no farmer or something like that. And then he brings out Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's just overly excited. He talks about how this is a big thank you celebration. Everybody's chanting thank you, and he tells Chicago to shut up because he doesn't need any of their thank yous. All he needs it from is the AEW executives. And we had a big marching band. The ring full of presents, and like people dressed as like various animals, like a bear and stuff like that. Like, it was quite great. And yeah, so pretty much Chris Jericho says that he did a lot for AEW to get it off the ground. So he said that this thank you celebration is worth it. He plugs a little bit of the bubbly, and he has a drink with it with Soul Train. And then he brings out his friends from the Inner Circle, starting first with Proud and Powerful and Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara comes out with a gift basket, and they pretty much put over Chris Jericho. Sammy Guevara says that he got him a gift, and it's like a standstill statue of them hugging. And this is funny because they do it themselves, and this has become like a meme. The biggest one I can think of is if you've ever seen The Shining, when Jack Nicholson's like looking through the door, the Here's Johnny scene. Instead of him, it's Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. And he thinks, Jericho's been like a real mentor to him. Then Proud and Powerful give him a gift basket filled with all types of stuff. He even gives him something to help with the flu season and such. It was awesome. And then he reveals, then he brings out Jake Hager, and Jake Hager brings him a goat named Chris Jericho. That was quite awesome. And then Chris Jericho introduces something in the big box, and it's his father. And he's wearing a the hockey team from New York, and he actually thinks that he's in New York, but then Jericho has to tell him that he's Chicago, and they use this to put down Chicago's hockey team, which was great. And then he reveals that he has a letter from the AEW executive team. So he has Justin Roberts comes in, and we find out that Justin Roberts went to high school in Chicago, and Jericho trashes the high school, and then he has Justin Roberts read this letter. When he has Justin Roberts reads the letter, everyone chants, "You can't read" at Chris Jericho, which was quite awesome. And Justin Roberts reads the letter, and Jericho gets upset because he didn't read the letter with any passion. So he didn't think that, Justin Roberts, so he thought Justin Roberts didn't think he deserved the thank you. So the Inner Circle just beat down Justin Roberts, and then SCU run out, and they were disguised as the Marching Band, and they fight off the Inner Circle with instruments and such, and they lay out Soul Train, and that was pretty much it. This was a great segment. I really enjoyed this, and it just shows you how awesome Chris Jericho is. It was great. Then we had the first actual match on the show. It was Best Friends with Orange Cassidy versus the Lucha Bros with Mark Solis Martinez on commentary for the show, or for this match anyways. He's basically a fan of AEW, that State Farm and AEW themselves work together to get on the show. There's a whole video of that on the YouTube page where he goes there thinking that he's just going to have a VIP experience there where he gets to meet Cody, Kenny Omega, Jungle Boy, and Marco Stunt, and then he goes and meets with Excalibur and JR. Then he finds out he's going to be on commentary because Tony Schiavone was supposed to be there, but he was on assignment. So he was thrown in there, and he gets to call this match because he's a big Pentagon Jr. fan since he got his mask signed from him at WrestleCast or StarCast, and that was great. Then we had this match, and the guy really wasn't all that great on commentary, but I don't think he was very experienced with it. It could have been one of those things where once he was out there, he choked, which makes sense. So you can't really give him too much flack. So there you go. But yeah, we had the match. The match was quite great. I really enjoyed this match. Before the match even starts, the Lucha Bros tried to get the advantage and attack the Best Friends, and Orange Cassidy was dressed up as a Thanksgiving turkey, and it goes with this gimmick that he doesn't care because he doesn't even put the turkey head over his head. He just has it just on its side. And the Best Friends fight them off. They throw them into the barricades. Orange Cassidy dives on them. And Best Friends pretty much dominate the beginning portions of this matchup. But then the Lucha Bros get the advantage. They get the heat for a long time onto Trent. Or was it Chuck Taylor? I think it was Trent. And they do the spot again like they did on AEW Dark, where Trent gets Irish whipped into the ropes and he flips over, and then when he flips back, Pentagon Jr. catches him into a backstabber. Lucha Bros get the heat on him. They hit side super kicks to the head, one singular, one double. They hit superplexes and fisherman busters and such. And then Chuck Taylor gets the hot tag, and he starts going off on the Lucha Bros. They hit all types of dives on them. They hit the soul food half and half combination into the sexy Chucky knee, which I hate the name of that move, but whatever. And the Lucha Bros get the advantage. They hit a super kick into the Destroyer onto Chuck Taylor, but he kicks out. And eventually, everyone's just laid out. Orange Cassidy gets on the apron, and they're distracted by this, and he starts taunting at them. He, clocks like a turkey, kind of, and then referee attacks. They attack him. But then eventually Trent wins with a sunset driver for the win on Ray Phoenix, and that was it. I really wasn't a fan of the finish, but I thought the match was quite great. I gave it 4 stars. It was a great match. And yeah, it was great stuff. And this was used to set up a match on the next episode between Trent and Ray Phoenix. So I thought it did the job it needed to do. I really enjoyed this. And it seems like the Best Friends are gaining some momentum. Maybe they're going to have a future AEW World Tag Team title match, because I think that's the direction they should go since they are just getting all these victories. So we'll see what that happens. Then we had Bea Priestley and Emi Sakura versus Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander. This was Chris Statlander's Dynamite debut, because this is the first time we've seen her. And this match was very good. Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander get the advantage in the beginning. They fight them off to the outside. Chris Statlander hit this like really cool moonsault, but it wasn't like a traditional moonsault. Like, she did like a big jump before that onto, I think, Bea Priestley. And then Hikaru Shida goes to bring out a chair and leap off the chair and do a knee, but Emi Sakura sits down. But then she just kicks her in the head and just does it anyways. That was great. And then the heels get the heat for a long time on Hikaru Shida. They beat the crap out of her. Eventually she sets up, and there's actually this one spot where she's doing an abdominal stretch, and she comes out with a mic stand, and she uses it behind the ref's back, and she doesn't see it, so the ref takes it away from her, and everyone started chanting, "Ref, you suck," because it was pretty bad officiated by the referee. And then, then Emi Sakura misses a move in the corner, and Hikaru Shida sets her up, and she hits a suplex into the corner while Emi Sakura is set up, and then she gets a hard tag on Chris Statlander. She starts going off, and they hit like a double knees combination, and the match just breaks out of control. We see suicide dives, electric chair face busters, and just awesome flip dives on the outside. We had an awesome near fall. We thought Chris Statlander won after like a vicious face buster, but eventually Emi Sakura and Bea Priestley get the win when Emi Sakura uses the mic stand and Bea Priestley hits her finish for the win. And yeah, Emi Sakura and Bea Priestley win, and it was very good. I gave it 3 3/4 stars. It was a very good match. John Moxley's backstage, and he talks about how since he's come to AEW, he said that he was going to take out everybody in his path, and he's pretty much accomplished that. And he pretty much says that whoever wants to pick a fight with me, either can and die trying, or make themselves stars. It was an awesome promo. Then we had Cody versus Matt Nix, which is a very ironic name because of the Young Bucks, so that was great. It was basically a squash. Matt Nix tries to go for the knee for the ribs right away because Cody was all taped up. He had a skull over his left eye, but Cody fights back immediately. He hits a wicked uppercut, a springboard cutter, and a figure 4 for the win. I actually like that he won with the figure 4 because I like it when wrestlers don't win with moves that you would expect him to win with, because it shows a match can end at any time. So I thought this match did the job it needed to do. I gave it 3 stars. Afterwards, he's cutting a promo on MJF saying that he's going to beat the crap out of him. But then some mass superstar comes up from under the ring, and when he takes off his mask, we find out that it's the Blazer. I have no clue who this is, but he takes out Cody, and then the Butcher, another superstar, comes up from under the ring and attacks Cody. They hit some type of like suplex double team on him, which kind of didn't really look that impressive. I really hope that's not the finisher. And then Allie comes from under the ring, and we find out that she changed her name to the Bunny because she has like not like a blindfold, but that thing you see like people at like Mardi Gras celebrations wear, and it's like rabbit ears. And yeah, basically this new group tag team's in AEW. So really too soon to judge what I think of the tag team, because you know, I just literally saw them this week, so. But it does add to the AEW tag division because you need to get some new blood in there. Um, and I think this is a smart move because you know, this puts the delay on the Cody MJF match. Because I think you want to delay that as much as possible. I think you should save that for like a big AEW show. Like if they want to do a Double or Nothing 2, you do it there. You can do it at like All Out 2. There's a lot of options you can do. I think that Cody MJF match, you really should like build MJF up as like this super heel. Maybe have him win the world title and Cody challenge him to a match, and MJF says no, and then maybe Cody has to win a match to get an AEW world title shot. So that'd be interesting. But yeah, I quite enjoyed all this, and I'm assuming this is going to lead to a future match first, where it's going to be Cody and Dustin, the Brotherhood, facing these guys. So I'm actually excited about this. Then we had Pac versus Kenny Omega. This match was awesome. Obviously not as good as the match that they had it all out, but it was still awesome. Kenny Omega and Pac start feeling each other out, and Kenny Omega just hits a wicked dragon suplex right off the bat, and he just dominates Pac throughout the beginning of the matchup. He gets a flip dive on the outside, but he ends up like tearing his tailbone, so he kind of starts walking gingerly. He hits a fisherman's buster, but then Pac gains control. He hits an Aloha moonsault on the outside, and Pac just dominates Omega. He throws him into the steps. He throws him into the guardrail. And Omega mounts a comeback. He hits like several V triggers in this match. More dragon suplexes. He hits a Falcon Arrow from the top turnbuckle, but Pac kicks out. And then Pac hits a wicked German suplex into the turnbuckles, and he goes for the Black Arrow, but Omega moves out of the way. And then eventually they exchange roll-ups, and then Kenny Omega beats him with the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling, surprise roll-up. So Kenny Omega beats Pac, and I'm actually okay with this because this gets Kenny Omega back on track. You can always do a rematch, so I thought this was great. I give it 4 3/4 stars. It's a great match. Then we have the Diamond Dozen finals. It was MJF with Wardlow versus Hangman Adam Page. MJF does a little promo saying that he's going to win the Diamond Dozen win, and says that it fits him because of who he is, and it doesn't fit someone like Hangman Adam Page, who grew up his life and living like a traditional farm boy and a traditional redneck. Then Hangman Adam Page does one and says that he needs to get his career back on track because he keeps getting wins, but he just can't consistently get into a groove. So I thought that was great. The only flaw I have is the Heyman Adam Page promo didn't play right away, so they couldn't. When the match started, they had to wait to do stuff. So I think they had to rush the beginning portion of this match, which kind of sucked. But Heyman Adam Page just immediately attacks MJF. He beats the crap out of him. He hits the he attacks him, and then during the break, Wardlow interferes, and MJF targets the arm of Heyman Adam Page and really works it over. Heyman Page mounts a comeback. He hits the Aloha moonsault. He hits up hitting the bulk shot, lariat, and Wardlow puts his foot on the rope, and then eventually MJF takes advantage of Wardlow's cheap shot and hits the crossroads, mocking MJF, and he gets the win, which I was absolutely fine with. And I like that he won with the crossroads because it's a jab at Cody, and I think it makes sense for MJF to win the Diamond Dozen win because this is something that he's going to brag about. We don't really know what it means yet. Maybe it means like he's going to get a future title shot or something, but I think this is just a nice little knob to throw at MJF. And then afterwards, DDP Diamond Dallas Page comes out to present him with the win, and he says that he's not a fan of what MJF's been doing, but he's a man and he's here to present the win, so he does. And then MJF insults him. So DDP says that if you want to lay me out, you better make it look good. And then he sends Wardlow in front of him, and he tells Wardlow that he's going to get embarrassed and he's going to get his ass kicked by a 63-year-old man. But then security and stuff break it up because I don't know if DDP can take any bumps. And then that was it. I kind of hope this leads to a match, but DDP says that he has no interest in doing a match in AEW, but maybe things will change because because I feel like if it's not leading to a match, then this was kind of weird. But I liked it. It was great. The match itself was great. 4.5 stars. Then Jen Decker interviews Dustin, and Dustin said that he's coming for the Inner Circle, especially Jake Hager, since he's the one that injured his arm to begin with. Then Sammy Guevara and Pride and Powerful try to get the jump on Dustin, but he fights them off for a little bit, but then the numbers game catches up with them. Then the Young Bucks come out, so Matt Jackson make his return, and they fight off Pride and Powerful and Sammy Guevara, and they hit a triple super kick on Sammy Guevara, and that was that. It was a great angle, and it set up a 6-man tag for the next episode. Then we had another Dark Order video package. This time we see the same guy walking, and there's like a little post flyer with like Dark Order things, and he rips off the tab. And he's going into this room where they're having the meeting, and where they're talking about how if you become part of the Dark Order, you're gonna feel like importance, and everyone's like in the meeting, and eventually everyone ends up wearing Dark Order masks, and they say join us and become one with the Dark Order, and you'll feel untouchable, because they say that we're everywhere. We're presidents, we're teachers, we're everywhere. So this was great. I really like how they're doing this. It adds an extra layer to the Dark Order, and I love it. Then we had the main event. It was a AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. AEW World Heavyweight Champion Chris Jericho versus Scorpio Sky. Everybody was banned from ringside. Scorpio Sky gets the advantage throughout the beginning portion of this matchup. He's really, out wrestling Chris Jericho athletically, but then Chris Jericho gets the heat. He hits a springboard drop kick, and he targets like the ribs of Scorpio Sky. He gets him into the walls of Jericho. Scorpio Sky gets to the ropes. Scorpio Sky rebounds a comeback. He hits a flip dive on the outside. He throws Jericho into the steps. Hits a super kick onto him. Eventually, he's just kicking Chris Jericho's ass so much that Jake Hager tries to come out and run interference, and Jericho tries to beat him with a roll-up, but he kicks out. And the Addiction come out, and they fight Jake Hager to the back. Then Jericho tries to win by hitting him with the title, but Scorpio Sky hits a TKO onto him, but Jericho kicks out. They proceed to wrestle for like a few more minutes. Jericho catches him into a code breaker, but Scorpio Sky kicks out. Then eventually Jericho catches him into the walls of Jericho, and Scorpio Sky taps out, and Jericho wins and retains the title. And that's it. I like that Jericho's winning a lot more now with the walls of Jericho. He beat Cody with it at Full Gear, and he won this match with it, because he really got to put that move over again, because he hasn't really won that with that move in a while. Then the show's not over there. Then Jon Moxley comes out through the crowd, and he stares down Chris Jericho, and they're finally setting it up. They're going to set up Jon Moxley versus Chris Jericho, probably at the next AEW pay-per-view, and I hope it leads to Jon Moxley beating Chris Jericho for the AEW World Championship. And I really like it. It's a makeup for the lame feud that they had in WWE in 2016. So I really like that they're going to do this match, and I'm excited about it. That pretty much was AEW Dynamite for that episode. I thought it was a awesome episode. Really not many issues with it. I liked the opening segment, and I liked all the matches on it. I thought it was awesome. And I really wasn't expecting like a whole lot, because it was a holiday show, but it was airing before Thanksgiving. But I still thought it was an awesome show. I'm gonna give it an A-. I'm gonna give it a 90 out of 100. Wasn't one of the best episodes I've seen, but it was still awesome. You set up a lot of stuff. We had some great matches, and it's just great stuff. It flowed very well too. I like how we had like the promo segments and the video and the matches kind of go hand in hand, and we got the introduction of a new tag team, so that was awesome stuff. They did lose to NXT in the ratings war, which I'll talk about when I do my NXT review, but I don't think that's really that bad of a thing, because I feel like both companies should, I want NXT to win sometimes to validate NXT going to USA. This was fantastic stuff. I forgot to mention too, Dasha Gonzalez was the ring announcer since Justin Roberts got the crap beaten out of him, so she took his place. So let's go through the win-loss records. I'm gonna try to remember like everyone who had a match on this show. So B. Priestley now is 2-4. Chris Jericho is now 8-1. Chuck Taylor's 5-5. Cody's 5-2-1. Emi Sakura is 3-3. Let's see. Heyman Adam Page is now 7-5. Akira Shida's 4-2. Let's see. Kenny Omega's 6-4. Chris Statlander's 0-2. MJF is 4-2. Pac's 3-2-1. Or is he 3-3-1? I don't know if I updated his record. I have to check that. I think he's 3-3-1 actually. I don't think I updated his record. He's either 3-3. Yeah, he's 3-3-1 because he has 2 losses. He lost the tag match and he lost to Heyman Adam Page, and now he just lost this match. So I forgot to update Pac's record, so I'll do that now. Pentagon Jr. is 5-7. Wayne Phoenix is 6-5. Scorpio Sky is 8-4. And Trent is 6-5. And I think that's it. I'll double check real quick. Oh, and I forgot someone. I did forget someone. Matt Nix. He's 0-1 because he's only had 1 match. I don't know if we'll ever have a match again, but just want to make sure I didn't forget anybody. Nope, didn't forget anyone. Now I'll go over the updated ranking system. So this is from November 29th, 2019. Hikaru Shida is ranked number 1. Emi Sakura is ranked number 2. DMD Britt Baker is ranked number 3. Nyla Rose is ranked number 4, and B. Priestley is ranked number 5. So B. Priestley moved up, and I think Emi Sakura also moved up because of a win from this week. Then, as for that was the woman rankings. As for the rankings for the main eventers, Jon Moxley moved up to number 1. I don't know if it's because Pac suffered a loss, so they moved him down, or if he has a match in AEW Dark that we haven't seen yet, but he's at number 1. Pac's at number 2 because of his loss to Omega. Kenny Omega's now at number 3. Cody's at number 4, and MJF is at number 5. So Omega moved up, and MJF moved up, and Pac moved down because he was at number 1 before that match. Then the rankings for the tag teams, as for November 29th, 2019. Proud and Powerful are at number 1. The Young Bucks are at number 2. Best Friends are at number 3. The Lucha Bros are at number 4. And Private Party are at number 5. So the only ones that really changed were Best Friends and Lucha Bros, because I think Best Friends moved up and Lucha Bros moved down, since Best Friends beat them on this episode. And that's my review of AEW Dynamite. I'll be back later to do some other videos and stuff, and that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe, and make sure you guys comment on the video, and do the same thing for my CM Brothers and all the Talking Needed YouTube channels. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.